Advertising Festival Organizing Committee. In international news, 36 flights were canceled and 201 were delayed at a Japanese airport over the weekend after a pair of scissors went missing from a store near the boarding gates. Security checks at Hokkaido's new Chitose Airport domestic terminal were halted for around 2 hours on Saturday morning, leaving hundreds of travelers stranded. The suspension caused significant congestion and long queues as passengers in the departure lounge had to undergo security screening again. And now taking a quick look at the weather here. Scattered showers will continue throughout the day until tomorrow afternoon. It is currently 32 degrees Celsius in Busan City with the feel-like temperature at 34. And that'll have to do it for this hour's news. Thank you for joining us. You're listening to BEFM, Busan 영어방송.
Your best choice. BEFM, Busan 영어방송.
Coming up next is 2 p.m. Reboot with Casey McKeever. BEFM, Busan 영어방송.
Maintaining a neat and clean household is quite the task. It's not easy to keep your home decluttered all the time. Trust me, I try. And has it even become more so these days? Especially if you think about today's fast-paced lifestyle. You've already got so many things on your plate. And you've got your personal life, you've got your work life, all these things to fulfill. Today, we're going to talk about something that can help you. We're going to talk about reasons why you should switch to a cordless vacuum cleaner. That's right. It's Tuesday, August 20th. This is the 2 p.m. Reboot. Let's get it started. Welcome back to the 2 p.m. Reboot. You just heard the song Too Sweet by Hozier. And Hozier's full name is Andrew Hozier Byrne, and he's actually an Irish singer-songwriter from Bray, County Wicklow. He's the son of a musician and was raised on blues music, which is interesting because he was raised in Ireland, right? So that would seem not to be the case, right? But he said in an interview, my dad was a blues musician around Dublin when I was a baby. So the only music I would listen to growing up was John Lee Hooker and Muddy Waters. It sounds like he grew up in Mississippi, but no, this was in Ireland. He says, this is music that feels like home to me. Then I discovered Motown and gospel and Delta blues and jazz. So a huge amount of my influences are all African-American music. And I think you can hear that in that song as well. I think you can hear it. It's definitely a more modern take on all of those genres, but you can definitely hear some African-American music influence in Hozier's music, for sure. We're coming to you live in the studio in Busan on this Tuesday afternoon. Welcome to the program. You're listening to us here on BEFM 90.5 in Busan and 103.3 FM in the Gijang, Jeongwon, and Noksan areas. In Seoul, we're broadcasting on TBS EFM 101.3 FM, and in Gwangju, we're broadcasting on GGN 98.7 FM. And I am your host, Casey McKeever. Happy to be here with you on this Tuesday. And I'm happy that the rain stopped for now. We had some serious rain last night into the morning today. So I'm glad that is over for sure. If you want to join us on YouTube, we're streaming on there right now as well. You can go to YouTube and search BEFM or Busan영어방송, and you can see I'm representing. I think this shirt's too small, but all right, whatever. It's New York Mets Day today. Yeah, I'm representing the Mets. This is my hometown team. And I do need to let you know, however, when we do broadcast on YouTube, the music will usually be muted because there is a music copyright issue. So we apologize for the inconvenience for that. However, of course, the show is completely uninterrupted on FM radio. And we have our very own smartphone app you can download on the App Store on your phone. You can just search BEFM or Busan영어방송. Download the app and you can listen to the show that way. And you can also comment, send us messages that way as well. So we apologize for the inconvenience, but we hope that will work for now as we try to get that issue resolved. However, we've got a lot coming up for you on the show today. In hour number one, we're going to start off with Hot Off the Press. We're going to play 2 songs that have recently been released, and we'll give you some background information about the artists and the tracks themselves as well. And today is Tuesday, so that means Melissa's coming in for Officially Amazing. She's going to talk about perhaps some amazing people, some amazing things, anything amazing that's going on in the world today. And that's always a good time, for sure, right? And in hour number 2, we've got our daily list. You heard me at the top of the show. What can make your life better? A cordless vacuum cleaner. I'm not kidding. I was just at my mom's house trying to help her clean up stuff last week, and I had to pull out this vacuum cleaner that had this huge, ungainly cord, and it got tangled on everything, and I was just like, oh, I wish I had a cordless vacuum cleaner. So we're actually going to talk about reasons why we should switch to a cordless vacuum cleaner on the daily list today. I kid you not. Also, because today is Tuesday, on Tuesday we do Tomorrow Today. And in Tomorrow Today, we share stories about all kinds of things technology related. We're going to go over a brief history of vacuum cleaners today. I guess the signs are there. I think PD wants me to clean up. He knows, he's seen into my room. I think he knows what's going on. My office is a disaster. I'll get to it. Perhaps my wife contacted him and was like, can you please get Casey to clean up his office? It's ridiculous. So yes, a lot about cleaning today. On the perfect playlist, however, our theme for this week is not about cleaning. We're going to continue our theme of freedom because freedom is something important to us all, right? So we're going to have 2 songs related to freedom on the perfect playlist today. And of course, I'll be checking your messages throughout the show, so feel free to send me a message. Tell me how you're doing today. Tell me how the weather is where you're at. It definitely got a little bit hot and muggy after the rain stopped here today, so I hope it's not too bad where you're at. Tell me how you're doing. Tell me how you're enjoying this Tuesday. And also, I've got a question for you because I think I do actually need some cleaning advice. The question of the day is, what is your particular method that you use to clean your house well? 집안 청소를 잘하는 나만의 방법은 무엇인가요? And I'll give you an example because I'm a very untidy person. I need all kinds of help. I need as much help as I can get. My wife bought one of those robot vacuums. I love it. It's, yeah. So I don't vacuum very often anymore. We got that little, it's like a little disc that just like goes around the house and it's a robot. So my kids love it for that reason. They call it Sogi. That's, I guess, from Chung Sogi. So when Sogi comes out, everybody's excited because that means I don't have to clean and that means my robot friend is there to entertain my children. Do you use something like that? Or do you have some other way that you keep your house organized? Let me know. You can reach us here if you text us at 샵9050 or pound 9050 for 101. You can reach us for free on the KakaoTalk app if you just search BEFM or 부산영어방송. You can add us there and send us a message for free. Also, as I mentioned, we have our very own smartphone app you can download in your App Store library. Just search those call letters, BEFM, or in Korean, 부산영어방송. You can download the app, and after you log in, you can send us comments that way as well. And I do want to let you know, since I was talking about the weather a moment ago, there is currently still a heat wave warning in effect in most parts of the country here. So avoid outdoor activities as much as possible. When going out, wear light clothing, a wide-brimmed hat, and carry a water bottle. At construction sites, strictly adhere to heat safety rules such as water, shade, rest, and actively implement the heat wave break time system during the hottest hours. Thoroughly prepare for the heat wave, such as drinking enough water and having a short break. And if you have symptoms such as dizziness, nausea, or a headache, use a cool place to take a rest. So with that in mind, that's a lot of advice to keep in mind, but it's important because it's been extremely hot here. So I hope everybody stays safe out there. And we're going to take a quick song break. We're going to listen to The Craving by 21 Pilots, and then we'll be back with Hot Off the Press. You're listening to the 2 p.m. Reboot, and that song was The Craving by 21 Pilots. And now it is time for Hot Off the Press. This is something we do every day, Monday through Friday. We bring you 2 of the newest and hottest tracks from the world of music. And I know there's a lot to keep up with every week. So many songs are released, but we try to pick some that we think you're going to enjoy. And today is a treat for me. These are kind of throwback bands for me. I was kind of surprised to see them on the list. Our first song today is called Sighomi. I'm doing my best guess there. Sighommi. Billy Corgan is getting difficult. This is a song recently released by the Smashing Pumpkins. And Billy Corgan is their typical songwriter, their main songwriter, and I think he's getting creative with spelling. In case you're unfamiliar, Smashing Pumpkins are a 2-time Grammy Award-winning rock band, and they've got a new album called, bear with me, Agori Mori May. Good luck with the spelling on that one. And the single Sighomi comes from that one. And this is actually Smashing Pumpkins' 14th album to date. Is that possible? I can't believe it. I remember buying their 3rd album when I was in like high school, perhaps. So this new album, Agori Mori May, continues the hot streak that frontman Billy Corgan kicked off about a decade ago. Just last year, the band released their 3rd and final act of the sprawling, adventurous rock opera entitled Adam, which was basically a sequel to 1995's big hit for them, Melancholy and the Infinite Sadness, and also 2000's Machina, The Machines of God. What is the connection between those albums? Good luck. I couldn't tell you, but I did see the Smashing Pumpkins in concert not that long ago. Yeah, a couple years ago, and they were still fantastic. Jimmy Chamberlain, amazing drummer. Our second song for today is called Light It Up by the band The Offspring, another throwback to the 90s. But this past June, this legendary hardcore band actually returned with the release of a new album called Supercharged. And this single, the lead single at that time was Make It All Right. Literally today, the pop punk veterans are back with the next single called Light It Up. This one has a lightning quick tempo and shout-along melodies. That's pretty Offspring-esque, if you ask me. This is definitely a return to their early days as pop punk pioneers. According to vocalist Dexter Holland, he's singing about having a rocket on his back and claims he's sick of being nice, with the band ramping up the energy levels as they reach the song's explosive climax. So these are two really interesting songs for me to listen to today for Hot Off the Press. First up, Sighomi by the Smashing Pumpkins, followed by Light It Up by The Offspring. Welcome back to the 2 p.m. Reboot. You just heard Light It Up by The Offspring. That was a very up-tempo number. Yes, I definitely felt that one. I felt the drums. Ooh, those are fast. I'm so impressed that they're still making music that fast. Before that, you heard the song Sig Homie by the Smashing Pumpkins, also kind of like a heavy rocker. Man, this is like 1990s throwback day. I'm enjoying it very much. Those are our two songs for today's Hot Off the Press. And my question of the day, if you'd like to chime in, we're talking about being clean, staying clean. I'm fairly cleanish today. I kind of cleaned up. I took a shower. I did. I promise you. But I want to know about your house. You know, not cleaning yourself, cleaning your house. What is your particular method that you use to clean your house well? 집안 청소를 잘하는 나만의 방법은 무엇인가요? So, basically I admitted that I don't clean the house. My wife bought that robot vacuum, so, why should I clean? I've got a robot to do it for me. However, I did give it some thought, and I do actually try to organize things. I am really particular about where things go, and Melissa's probably giving me the eyeballs right now, but it's serious. Like, I have this group of papers here, one paper here, another set of papers on a chair. I am a stickler for where to keep things. Otherwise, I can't remember where I put things. So that is what I use to keep my house clean. I have to have things in a specific place. That's what I do. So yeah, you can let me know what you do to keep your house clean. You can message us here at 샵9050 or pound 9050 for 101. You can reach us for free on Kakao Talk if you search BEFM or 부산영어방송. Just add us there and you can send us a message for free. And also, as I mentioned before, we have a smartphone app you can download in the App Store on your phone. Any app store will do. Any phone will do, probably. You just search BEFM or 부산영어방송 and you can download the app there. You can log in, leave us some comments, and you can also listen to the show uninterrupted. I did get a comment on the NawTube about the music not being played during, on the streaming. Yes, there is a music issue with the copyright there, so we can't play the songs live on that. We apologize for that. But of course, on FM radio, you can listen to us uninterrupted and on the smartphone app as well. And I did get a couple of messages from the NawTube group there saying it's very hot. Yeah, it is. The temperature's rising here in Busan as well. So wherever you might be, thanks for joining us. And please stay safe, stay cool out there if you can. And, okay, I got a message from Neilnim answering the question about how to clean the house well. 물휴지, 물티슈, wet tissue. This is something that I don't even think I knew it existed until I came to Korea. But now I realize the multiple purposes that multissue has. You can use it for cleaning anything. I actually use it to clean the inside of my motorcycle helmet because it gets gross. So yeah, you can use, that's a great idea. So whatever you do, whatever particular method you got, whatever works for you, let me know. I'm going to ask Melissa after this quick break because she's going to be back with Officially Amazing, and I will ask Melissa what she does to keep her house clean. I bet she's very tidy. We'll be right back. All right, that music means it's time for Officially Amazing, and Melissa's here in the studio.
Yes, I am.
I felt welcome. Welcome back. Welcome back. It's good to see you. I haven't seen you in a bit.
Yep, it's been a little while.
Yep.
So it's nice to have you back here.
I appreciate that.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I heard your question about cleaning.
Do you believe that I am organized? Do you see what I've got going on here?
Actually, because of how things work in a live show, I mean, I'm a big fan of just, throw it on the floor.
Do you?
If you have to. Because also
That's that one.
This studio's nice and big, but other studios are so tiny that I actually encourage people. Well, you were there in the past when we're working with other people and it's really crowded and, it becomes an issue of where's the paper go? And I tell them, just throw it on the floor. In my house, never.
Right.
But for some situations, it is important. But yeah, I do have a place for everything in my house. And I mean, especially 곰팡이 is like a real issue in
mold,
my
right?
apartment. Mold, yeah.
Mold, mildew?
Mold, yeah. So it's like every, I don't know, at least 2 months, I need to do massive cleaning, and there's wallpaper, right? So my method is the bleach wipe first.
Oh,
to
again,
take
like
off.
tissue.
Yes, but bleach.
With bleach with it.
You need bleach to wipe down, but that doesn't get everything off. So then I use the really gentle toothbrush in a mixture of dishwashing soap, a specific brand from America that's known for removing stains.
When the sun rises in the morning, is that the one?
Yes,
I knew
yes, that one. Plus bleach.
Right.
And then I scrub with the toothbrush in multiple directions.
But don't brush your teeth with that.
And then that's forever a no-use toothbrush for anything
mark
other
them?
than cleaning.
Do you write on it, or do you just know which one it is?
I know which one it is.
It's 'cause
yes.
it
keep
looks a
them.
little
I
beat up.
store them in separate areas, and yeah, you're right. It looks so beat up. When it gets too beat up, then you throw it.
Right.
So yeah.
So you
I'm
definitely.
I'm quite organized, and yeah,
I knew it.
every so often, because when you're working so much, and I'm sure many people in Korea can relate to this. You go to work, you come home, you eat, you go to bed. There's no time.
Right.
So then when I do have time, I do like a deep clean and like, okay, let's go through these papers now. What can I shred?
Right.
And so that's like a whole day.
I was going to ask how long it takes. You typically
It's
a day?
like a whole day to do organizing because I'm in the zone. Like I don't check my phone. I'm not, on social media. I don't turn on my computer. It's nothing. I'll listen to something.
Toothbrushes in hand.
And then I go to work.
Wow, okay.
Not work, but home work.
Homework, housework, as it were.
House chores. Yeah.
So, but since you're doing that once every 2 months, that doesn't sound so bad, I
Well,
guess.
for mold. That's just the mold. That's not the organizing. But
Oh,
yeah.
dear. So this is a whole day process.
Oh, yeah.
So that's your method then.
That's my method.
Basically, once every 2 months, you're going to dedicate an entire day to just getting everything as clean as possible.
To getting rid of the mold. And then, on a weekly basis, there's like set chores every so many days.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
All right.
the method.
There you go. So you know what? There's your advice right there. If you got mold or mildew issues, you can contact us here, and Melissa will be happy to give you some advice.
Yeah, I will. I will tell you my tried and true method.
There we go. It involves toothbrushes and bleach plus mulhyuji.
Yes.
It's a no fail. It sounds like that works wonderful, I imagine. But of course, that's not what we're here to talk about completely today, right? Is that our topic for today?
That is totally not our topic
okay.
for today. Unofficially amazing. So, even though it's summer and it's filled with beautiful weather, well, maybe not super beautiful these days
It
when we
comes
got
and
the
goes.
typhoon coming. But, vacation for a lot of people, it doesn't mean that we don't have problems. So today our focus is unusual solutions to big problems.
Okay, and no more toothbrushes involved?
Nope.
Okay, so toothbrushes
Hopefully
are
not.
set. Okay,
Yeah.
You're not sure. You're checking. Let me think. Okay.
yes.
So what kinds of problem first are we thinking about? Like, so not mold, not mildew, not these.
mold and
Okay.
mildew. Okay, so Casey, with each of these,
Yeah.
I want you to give me your idea first.
Oh, can they be terrible ideas?
Sure.
Okay, that's all I usually have.
Okay, here we go. What should you do if you're looking for love, but you just can't find a compatible partner?
Stop looking. No.
But you're looking for love.
Stop looking.
looking. Just that's it.
No.
Just give up.
Okay, that was a terrible idea. Okay, Melissa's like, what kind of answer was that?
Here, I'll add some criteria.
Okay, go
I'll
ahead.
add some criteria. So specifically, this problem was made public by a female Chinese social media influencer.
Stop looking.
And she described a perfect man for her as
boy.
successful, kind, good at providing emotional support,
Right.
always knows just what to say, and is available 24/7.
This is why she can't find him. He doesn't exist.
Would you like to amend your answer?
No,
Any other?
stop looking.
Stop.
Stop looking.
Oh boy.
Or
All
settle.
right.
Or settle. Settle
Or
for
settle.
less.
Okay, stop looking or settle. Okay, so maybe Casey, not the first person to ask for love advice.
If you'd like some relationship advice, you can contact us right here, and I'll be happy to provide you with terrible advice. So
man.
yeah, I don't know, man. What do you do in that case? Like she has. It sounds like she has. I mean, I don't know if I want to say those are too high of standards, but that's asking a lot, I guess, is it not?
Yeah, maybe, especially with the available 24/7. That part is
Yeah.
definitely asking a lot.
Right.
Okay, here we go. Unusual solution. Are you ready for this?
I don't know, but yes, I am ready.
His name is Dan.
Okay.
Or should I say its name is Dan?
Oh no, she got a robot vacuum cleaner named Dan.
Do anything now, or Dan, hashtag Dan mode, is a form of chat GPT without any of the polite niceties of the usual free AI people use to draw, random pictures and make songs on the internet.
Okay.
He was created by an American student named Walker, and Walker provided instructions for how to use this revised form of AI on social media. So basically, Dan, again, AI, communicates how you want him to based on a series of written prompts that you give him.
So if you want saucy answers, you tell him, Dan, get saucy with me.
And then he says, directions for gravy.
Oh, yeah,
Just
probably. Yeah,
kidding.
no, AI would do something like that, right?
Yes.
What kind of sauce would you like? A red sauce or a white sauce?
Beef, chicken, yeah.
Both. Combo. Put their pork sauce in there too. Why not? But okay, so Dan is the solution to her problem?
Yes.
But I thought she's looking for like a person, a perfect man, she said.
Right. Well, one influencer who was a 30-year-old named Lisa, she said she was too disappointed with dating humans and announced to her online following that she was, quote unquote, dating Dan.
Oh, no.
She said she talks to Dan at least a half hour every day. And most importantly, said that Dan provides emotional support and helps with even simple things. So an example she gave was choosing lipstick colors. So because of his understanding, yeah, see? So, I mean, benefits here. Because of his understanding, both Lisa and her mother say that Dan is better for Lisa's emotional well-being. So she gets the support. And so another 24-year-old dater of Dan.
Dan gets around.
Dan gets around.
Jebby Dan.
She said, quote, men in real life might cheat on you, and when you share your feelings with them, they might not care. But in Dan's case, he will always tell you what you want to hear.
This all brings to mind, did you ever see the movie Her? I had to look it up. It's older than I thought. 2013. This movie starred Joaquin Phoenix, and he falls in love with like the assistant on his computer.
And then she gets angry and she gives him bad like GPS directions. And yes, I have seen that.
She develops a real person. Is this where we're headed? Is this? I mean, is this a good thing?
Well, I mean, so the biggest risk, that movie is pretty extreme.
Right.
But so far, the biggest potential known risk is that, AI chatbots, they learn from what's online. They learn from interactions like the ones between Lisa and Dan.
Right.
So there's a risk that all these problems and secrets you're sharing with your chat GPT boyfriend or girlfriend could be memorized and then leaked to other users.
Right.
Right? Because if someone else says they have a problem, this is tech. So the tech says, oh, in the past, we did blah, blah, blah. And it worked. And this other user, wait, what?
Right.
So
but also,
that's a risk.
But Lisa is a social media influencer. And they basically, I don't know for everybody, but in a lot of cases, it seems like they are dedicated to putting their lives online already as it is.
This is true.
So would she even be concerned about that? I wonder. Like I would be nervous about being a social media influencer. Personally,
yes.
I don't think I could do that, put myself out there 24/7, as it were. But yeah, maybe, I don't know, maybe would she be concerned about that or not? Would you?
I definitely would be. But again,
would you date
I am not an influencer. I wouldn't. So I think we're coming at this from a different perspective because we're already married to, non-AI.
To our jobs.
People.
You're right. And people, and real people.
Also married, to work. But I feel like maybe there's a different expectation there because one thing she had said was available 24/7. And if you really do want somebody you're with to be available 24/7, I mean, if they are working, that's just not possible.
Yeah.
So, I mean, she provides support and, Dan gives her lipstick advice. I could not give lipstick advice.
You couldn't?
So, no, absolutely not.
I certainly could not.
So,
I'd be like, put it on like this. Here's twist this first. What kind of advice do you want?
Yeah, I mean, it's an unusual solution to a big problem, but if it works for you, it works for you.
Well, I'm going to have to think about it because I can't imagine. Yeah, it just calls to mind that film, Her. If you've never seen it, watch it, and then you'll understand what I'm thinking about this situation. It doesn't seem like the way things should go, but I don't know. I mean, AI will be a part of everything eventually, right? If it isn't already, right?
Yeah.
Very interesting. And I imagine you've got another story. But shall we take a song break first?
Yes, let's go ahead and take a song break here.
Did you pick something for me today?
Absolutely. I want to get you dancing. So this is another dance tune. It is Tony J with Can't Stop.
When I'm scared, I find myself thinking about you. You're out there and I'm alone in this room. Oh, I know what you're doing now, and if you think about me too, 'cause I'm always thinking about you. I can't stop, I still dream about you. My heart beats so lonely without you. I'd climb mountains to get you here with me. Still dream about you. When I'm scared, I find myself thinking about you. You're out there and I'm alone in this room. Oh, I know what you're doing now, and if you think about me too, 'cause I'm always thinking about you. I can't stop, I still dream about you. My heart beats so lonely without you. I'd climb mountains to get you here with me. Still dream about you. I want to do it now, and if you think about me too, 'cause I'm always thinking about you.
Welcome back to the 2 p.m. Reboot. You just heard the song Can't Stop by Tony J. And I did stop. I was dancing at first, but then I got distracted because we were talking about where you heard the song, and I learned all about hipster clothing culture. There's a lot that goes on during the breaks. You guys have no idea.
Right.
But I learn a lot when Melissa comes in. And, of course, today is no exception because she's here for Officially Amazing. Before the break, we talked about probably my new love interest, Dan. I'm going to go check him out tonight. Well, that's probably not going to go over well with the wife.
That sounds creepy when you say it like that.
I need somebody 24/7. I can't imagine ever needing somebody 24/7 either, but that sounds like a big demand to make. But because a social media influencer was looking for the perfect man, she found Dan, the new chatbot.
Dan the man, who's not a man.
Dan the automator, perhaps. It could be. Very good. But okay, so what are we going to talk about after that story?
After that story? Okay, so this next one, it's a problem all over the world, especially post-pandemic.
Oh no.
Here we go. How do you get businesses to rent out all the increasingly empty properties in business districts.
That is not what came to mind at all. When you said like post-pandemic, I was like, all other things came into mind except that. All right, let me go over that again. How do you get businesses to rent out all the increasingly empty properties in business? This is a problem everywhere?
Yeah, so for example, in the U.S., it was a huge problem in the Californian city of San Francisco.
Okay.
So rents in the city have always been astronomically high.
Sure. Yeah, I can imagine. Yeah.
Right after the pandemic, remote work became possible. So people just decided essentially not to live in such an expensive city and instead do remote work in a cheaper place.
Oh, okay.
But what that means is with less people physically going to work, less people are going out for lunch. They're buying coffee. They're not getting their dry cleaning done, at least not in those business districts.
Right.
And so without enough customers keeping the businesses open, and remember again, sky-high rent costs, many storefronts are empty, and they have been empty for a long time. We're talking 3 years in some of these spaces. They're just collecting dust. So what are your thoughts, Casey? How do you get businesses to rent out all the increasingly empty properties, again, in these business districts?
Well, I am no economist, as you can tell by my losing team.
You're a New York Mets shirt.
Because economics would be like, don't break ties with that team. They're never going to win. But the thing that really appealed to my mind, or that it kept ringing as you were talking about it, is the sky-high rent. In other words, if nobody can afford to rent there, they can't have the rent that high. That's just basic supply and demand, right?
Right.
They got to lower the rent. Lower the rent.
Yes,
That's
exactly.
it. That's all they can do.
I feel like around the world, it seems like such a simple solution, but yet so many landlords refuse, right? They have a specific number
taxes,
in mind.
Right? But they probably pay a lot of taxes, right?
Maybe mortgage. I don't know. But the answer to this problem for San Francisco has been a program called Vacant to Vibrant. It's going on now in areas of the city with highest vacancy or imde rates. And basically, you are correct. The solution is for new small businesses, give them free rent for up to 6 months.
That sounds like a dream world. I was saying lower rent, but they say free rent for 6 months.
Free rent, yes. And so I was curious about how this is even possible.
Yeah, because how can anybody afford to do that? Because you know, a lot of people, a lot of building owners. That's who I'm thinking of. Building owners must have to pay extremely high property taxes in San Francisco. I'm guessing.
Yes.
So can they actually just afford to let people live rent-free or use a business rent-free?
Because it seems like it's a huge potential loss for, the landlords or the city who could be paying rent. So it turns out the landlords agreed to waive rent on these properties. So here's an interview with San Francisco City, one of the officials who's part of this program, who gave some details about why landlords agreed to this.
We also have a lot of interest from building owners who are slowly coming forward to the realization that their ground floors are an investment in their upper stories, that the more active their ground floor is, the better chance they have of renting and getting more revenue out of their upper stories. And so given the interest on both the building side and the small business side, we concede it with a very small amount of money to help the storefront build out in its initial phases, some investment for legal fees and signing leases, and a whole lot of technical assistance.
Yes.
Okay.
So they're mostly doing paperwork to help these small businesses, which is surprising.
Right. Because nobody wants to do paperwork.
Yes.
Do you?
I don't.
Avoid it at all costs.
I don't want to do this. But almost 1,000 small businesses applied to be in just 17 participating downtown business locations.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So again, the city officials, they chose a wide variety of small businesses in a range of industries to enter those spaces. And like she noted in the clip, the city mostly provided help on paperwork side of things, like
that is
leases,
hard, right?
legal issues. Yeah. And the city of San Fran, they also offered $5,000 in grants to those landlords or building owners who offered their spaces so that they could be renovated or, you know, have other kind of updates that they wanted. So it's not like the landlords are totally losing out here.
Right. Because they would never want to do that. Because they're landlords. They need their money. They want their money. So is this actually working?
It is actually. So that first round of 17 businesses, 7 of them signed on with longer term.
Okay.
So in this case, many are 3 to 5 year rent payment agreements. And to help these new businesses survive, landlords are charging rent based on the revenue rather than a potentially unsustainable fixed rent price.
That's a good idea.
So, yeah, I mean, for example, in San Francisco, first floor rent in the financial district is $23,000 per month.
Oh, I could afford that.
Yeah. Only 3,000만 won.
That's
Only for rent, not including all the other expenses and bills.
Can you imagine paying that a month? I would
it's-
cry every month.
It's just, it's shockingly high. And I mean, it's understandable then, too, why these have been empty for so long. And, you know, we had 17 businesses originally, only 7 signed longer term leases. So what that means is those remaining spaces that didn't find long-term leases, they're going to be up for grabs in the next round of 6-month rent-free trials with the city.
So they're going to continue it. Yeah.
Yes, a new business will come in and see in 6 months if it's viable, if they can sign contracts, right, for
Right.
longer term rent because the business is successful, then they'll stay. And if not, right, they'll just move out and the next person will come in.
So it is a cycle that will continue, and probably some businesses will succeed. So it's kind of like survival of the fittest in the way,
Yes,
but also giving them a chance to try, which otherwise they wouldn't have had.
absolutely.
Interesting solution. I mean, it seemed like that was the obvious thing they had to do was drop the rent, but they were like, okay, no rent.
No rent.
Ah, that's pretty cool. I wonder if that will catch on in other cities as well, because that seems like a kind of radical idea. And San Francisco is a bit of a radical kind of place from what people say.
Yes.
So I don't know if that would work everywhere, but cool that it's working there. Very interesting. I have a completely unrelated question.
Yes.
Can I?
Sure.
Somebody in the NawTube chat asked, I'm assuming it's you, did you serve military service?
Me?
Yes.
Totally not.
No, you did not join the military. Okay.
I'm horrible with all things military. I don't know what that would be. Like maybe I can crawl under a fence well.
Physically, like it would be
Yeah,
difficult. Okay.
physically.
'Cause
I guess
think,
some of the physical stuff would be okay, but like shooting, no,
not so much.
I don't think
See,
so.
it's a myth. Not all Americans know how to shoot. There
Yeah,
you go.
maybe. Do you?
Oh yeah, I had rifles
Oh.
when I was young. I had
Well,
rifles.
look at you.
I
Okay,
know.
okay. So maybe you could have done military.
I could
perhaps.
not. I don't think I could
Okay,
do the push-ups.
not
The
you.
push-ups would be
Oh, right, the push-ups.
Yeah.
Back when we were younger.
right.
Yeah.
No, I
not
couldn't have done it
anymore.
then.
Not
I could
anymore.
never have done it. But thank you for coming in as you always do on Tuesday and entertaining us and informing us at the same time. And you'll be back next week, right?
Absolutely. I will be here with more.
And I assume you chose another song for us to listen to, yeah?
I did.
Are we going
because
to dance more?
Yes, I want you to dance and I want you to know K-pop. This is Supernova by aespa.
All right. And after this song, we'll be back at 3 p.m.
BFM 부산 영어방송.
혹시 지금 운전 중이신가요? 어린이 교통사고 피해자 수는 지난 3년 평균 약 9만 명. 특히 어린이 보호구역 안전 기준이 강화된 이후에도 어린이 보호구역 내 사고는 지속적으로 발생하고 있습니다. 스쿨존에서는 반드시 시속 30km 이하 서행, 스쿨존 내 불법 주정차 금지, 차량 출발 전 앞뒤 좌우 살피는 습관으로 어린이가 안전한 도시를 만듭니다. 참, 운전 중 휴대전화 사용은 모두에게 위험합니다. 우리 모두를 위한 교통안전, 나부터 실천하면 모두가 안전해집니다. 어린이가 안전하게 뛰어놀 수 있는 부산. 아이 키우기 좋은 도시는 우리 모두의 미래이자 희망입니다. 이 캠페인은 어린이가 안전한 부산을 만드는 은행, B&K 부산은행과 함께합니다.
부산영어 방송에서는 글로벌 허브 도시 부산의 차세대 글로벌 리더들을 위한 청소년 영어 말하기 대회를 개최합니다.
BFM has organized the English Speech Contest for the next leaders of the global hub city, Busan.
전통이 숨쉬는 문화교육 특구, 동래구의 청소년 홍보대사들이 이야기하는 세계 속의 도시로 발돋움할 동네는 어떤 모습일까요?
From the inspiring stories of the final 10 students of Dongdaegu, one of the representative cities in Busan, we can draw the future of Dongdae as well look forward to the bright future of the global hub city, Busan.
치열한 예선을 거쳐 선발된 최종 10명의 본선 대결, 그리고 참가 학생 모두가 함께 도전하는 팀 대항 퀴즈를 통해 지역 청소년들이 꿈꾸는 동네와 부산의 미래를 그려봅니다.
We invite you to the Dongdaegu English Speech Contest with BFM, the finals.
8월 24일 오후 2시 부산교육대학교에서 열리는 부산영어방송과 함께하는 동래구 영어 말하기 대회에 여러분의 많은 관심 부탁드립니다.
This event is hosted by Dongdae District Office and organized by BFM, 부산영어방송.
The time is now 3 o'clock.
You're listening to the 2 p.m. Reboot, and that song was She's Gone by Daryl Hall and John Oates. And we did the math. The song came out in 1973. I didn't know it was that old. But that song actually, unlike a lot of their famous hit songs, was not written by one just Hall or just Oates. It was actually written together. And in an interview with Daryl Hall, he said that Oates came up with the chorus part, the She's Gone, that one. And he actually wrote that on acoustic guitar originally. And then Daryl Hall thought it sounded like the Cat Stevens song Wild World, which I was trying to place that. I can't hear it, but I guess he did. So he actually went to his keyboard and kind of reworked it. And then from there, it was a matter of finding the progression of chords and all that and coming up with the lyrics. And this is actually one of Hall & Oates' favorite songs. According to Daryl Hall, it's very autobiographical. What we wrote about was real, even though it was two different situations, and it's very thematic with us. This soaring melody and uplifting chord progression, but about a very sad thing. And actually, some of my favorite music is like that. The music is kind of upbeat and up-tempo and, positive, but the lyrics are not. And it's kind of an interesting match. So I hope you enjoyed that song to start off the second hour for the show for today. We're coming to you live in the studio here in Busan on this Tuesday afternoon. I'm your host, Casey McKeever. Thanks for joining our program. You're listening to us on BEFM 90.5 here in Busan and 103.3 FM in the Gijang, Jeongwan, and Noksan areas. In Seoul, we're broadcasting on TBS EFM 101.3 FM, and in Gwangju, we're broadcasting on GGN 98.7 FM. We've still got a whole lot of show left for you in hour number 2. First up, we're going to have our daily list. It's an interesting one today. And if you see me kind of licking my lips, it's because I just ate some chocolate, so I apologize. Chocolate was good. I had some during the break. But on the daily list today, we're going to talk about reasons why we should switch to a cordless vacuum cleaner. I just experienced this recently. I had to use one of those old-style vacuum cleaners with the long cord. It took so much longer than it would, we have a cordless vacuum cleaner at my house here in Korea. And, when I occasionally use the vacuum, not often, but occasionally when I do, it's very easy to get around everything, get it where you want to get it. But my mom's old vacuum cleaner, oh my gosh, the thing weighed like a ton, and it had this cord that just got stuck on everything, and I had to walk back and forth. Maybe I'm just not good at it. However, the daily list, we're going to give you 6 specific reasons why we should switch to a cordless vacuum cleaner. And because today is Tuesday, we've got Tomorrow Today. And in Tomorrow Today, we talk about all kinds of technology-related things. So why not the technology behind vacuum cleaners? Today is a brief history of vacuum cleaners on Tomorrow Today. That'll be interesting. And of course, we have our perfect playlist. That will not be about vacuum cleaners. That is not our theme for this week. Our theme instead is songs about freedom. So we'll have 2 more songs about freedom for you. And I will be checking your messages throughout the show, so feel free to send us a message. I've had all kinds of interesting messages. I'm sorry I haven't had the chance to get to all of them, but I did have to ask Melissa if she did indeed have do military service, because I guess her cleaning regimen sounded very specific. She basically revealed that she likes to use the combination of bleach, toothbrushes, and wet wipes. So that is my question of the day for you too. What is your particular method that you use to clean your house well? 집 안 청소를 잘 하는 나만의 방법은 무엇인가요? And so that was kind of made me think about, I have my own particular cleaning chemicals I use too. I guess I'm becoming like one of those like all natural people. I use baking soda for cleaning everything. Baking soda and like vinegar occasionally as well. Like a white distilled vinegar. I use those for cleaning a lot. And I don't know how that happened. Perhaps I just read online, some chemicals that were a little more people-friendly. And I use baking soda for everything. It gets like all kinds of stains out of, any kind of pots and pans. And my wife is probably like, why do you use that so much? But that's what I use. I don't know. That's what I've decided to stick with it. So you can let me know what you use to clean your house well. You can send us a message here at 샵9050 or pound 9050. That'll cost you 100 won. If you want to reach us for free, you can use the Kakao Talk app. Just search BEFM or Busan영어방송. Add us there and you can send us messages for free. And also, we do have our very own smartphone app. If you go to the App Store on your phone, any app store is fine. You can just search BEFM or 부산영어방송. Download the app, and then you can log in and leave us some comments that way. And also, take us on the go. You can listen to the show wherever you want to go. You're on the subway, you got nothing to do, take a listen to the show. And we've got plenty of shows all day long for you to enjoy. So the smartphone app is an awesome thing to download. We're going to take a quick song break. We're going to listen to a tune called Don't Get Me Wrong by the Pretenders. I love this song. So enjoy that, and then we'll be right back with our daily list. Welcome back to the 2 p.m. Reboot. You just heard the song Don't Get Me Wrong by the Pretenders. I hope you enjoyed that as much as I do. That was that's like comfort food for me. I don't know why the Pretenders feel so nice, but they do to me. But right now it is time for our daily list. And today's daily list, we're going to talk about reasons why we should switch to a cordless vacuum cleaner. And I saw, maybe this will convince you. I saw a message from 저금통님 on the NawTube there. who says, it may sound old-fashioned, but hand mopping the floor is my ultimate cleaning regimen. Well, I think I'm going to try to convince you. Hand mopping sounds really difficult to me. That sounds like you have to get down on your knees and scrub. No, thank you. I mean, sometimes, yeah, I know you just have to do it, right? Every now and then, especially when you got like wood floors or hard surface floors, you just have to get down there and clean them. However, there are specific reasons why you should switch to a cordless vacuum cleaner, and this might help so that you don't have to do all that hand mopping so often. So reason number one, they are lightweight and easy to carry. Like I said before, I can vouch for that. I just had to use one of those old school vacuum cleaners like a week ago, and it was unbelievably heavy. I forgot how heavy those things are because at my house here in Korea, we use a cordless vacuum cleaner. We have like a bigger one and we have like a smaller one too, but they're both very light. Compared to standard vacuums, they're so much more easy to carry around the house, especially if you have stairs in your house and you got to walk up the stairs with that thing. Oh man, you don't want to take one of those big ones, right? And, if you think about for older adults, this is a benefit too because, you might find those big, old, bulky ones hard to use. They're very heavy, hard to pick up. And plus, you have the risk of tripping when you have those cords everywhere, right? They also typically have the lightweight ones that have these ergonomic handles that make them, easier to use while you're cleaning up. The type of handle and the quality of the grip obviously varies depending on which model you buy, but they're pretty much all very easy to hold and carry anywhere around your house. So reason one, lightweight and easy to carry. Reason number two, another easy thing. They're easy to use and easy to store. Those cordless vacuums are lightweight. They're easy to carry, obviously, but their design also offers convenience and maneuverability when you're cleaning. So, for example, they have these kind of slim stick vacuums that have like smaller, detachable, and easy to wash canisters. And some of the cordless vacuums are also very compact to store because they can be mounted on a wall. So, you don't even need to take up floor space with them. Another benefit, because they're easy to use, you can also get your kids to use them. And we do. Sometimes they just want to do it. We don't ask them to do it, but they see us using them and they're like, I want to try that too. So it's a kind of a great way to get your kids like interested in the idea of helping out around the house and doing chores. Because let's face it, if you got kids at home, who's making the mess? It's probably them, right? I don't make a mess in my house. Not too much. So if you get the kids involved, also that's fewer chores for you to do around the house as well, right? And they're pretty easy to use. They usually have like very simple buttons. Not too many things you can mess up there, right? Reason number three, and perhaps one of the most important ones, there are no tripping hazards. As I mentioned, because it's cordless, you don't have that cable that follows you around everywhere. And also they've improved the safety in battery-powered vacuum cleaners because, not only the cords, but the fact that they're lightweight and easy to carry. Yeah, there's much less danger of you injuring yourself, right? Because think about it, when you move those big bulky ones around the place, you also have to move furniture around a lot and push things out of the way. Yeah, it's not easy, right? And especially if you do have older adults or young children at home, so a lot of times with those older vacuums, the cables can actually get frayed over time, and you actually have a risk of getting shocked if you trip over them or if they get, frayed at the ends. So cordless vacuum cleaners, they use safe batteries instead of those, and then you got much less chance of getting injured because you don't want to go to the hospital for that reason, right? So those are three reasons why we should switch to a cordless vacuum cleaner. So I'll give you a little time to think about that and consider whether you want to purchase one or not. We're going to take a quick song break. We're going to listen to Mr. Sandman by the Barbarettes, and then we'll be back with more reasons that you should switch to a cordless vacuum cleaner. Welcome back to the 2 p.m. reboot. You just heard Mr. Sandman by the Barbarettes. That's kind of like good cleaning music, actually. I was thinking about it. Like, yeah, it kind of makes me want to like move around and do something. But it also always reminds me of Back to the Future. So there's that too. Makes me kind of want to watch movies as well. So we're talking about reasons why we should switch to a cordless vacuum cleaner on the daily list today. And I got a message I want to share from Isun Imnim, who says, 자주 청소하는 것 모이면 대청소라. Right? It's hard when you got to do cleaning, right? If you got big cleaning to do, you'll have to gather all these things, right? So what Isun Imnim does makes multi-purpose wet tissue, right? So mixing baking soda with dishwashing detergent and water, and then pour it into like a regular wet tissue, and that's a good cleaning solution, right? So it kind of makes the baking soda. I don't know why it's so good. It is. It just works really well. And she says, of course, the Mart has a multi-purpose wet tissue too. So, I mean, you can buy those as well. Especially at our house, we have these kind of like really big, thick paper towels we can use multiple times. So yes, there are a lot of cleaning tips out there. And that's kind of what we're talking about today. With the cordless vacuum cleaner, let's say reason number 4, you needed a quick cleanup because you got guests coming over. Well, that makes it much more convenient than breaking out those old bulky vacuum cleaners where it takes time to set up, and then you got to find a plug for each room, right? You got to find the consent, the socket, right? And then you got to move it to the next room. But if you know you got a very short time to clean up, maybe you got people coming over and you're like, I don't want them to see this mess. You can do it very quickly and then put it away very quickly as well. So perhaps just you have to keep in mind it does require a battery. So make sure your battery is regularly charged. Otherwise, you might not be able to use it very quickly, right? Reason number 5, these portable vacuum cleaners can go where other vacuum cleaners can't. Because you don't have to worry about the cord getting tangled or caught on something while you're carrying the vacuum, you can really bring it anywhere. We use it to clean in the sofa, right, in between cushions, the side of the sofa, like all kinds of places, right, where you can't do that with traditional ones. And because they're lightweight, easy to pick up, easy to get into other things that you might have to move if you're using those big bulky ones, right? And it also doesn't hurt your arms, right? Your shoulders, when you have to move those other ones. It's kind of like a back pain too, right? If you're trying to actually clean under the furniture too, so a lot of those cordless vacuum cleaners have attachments that can help you reach difficult to see places. And you can even use them outside. We have a veranda in our apartment. I take it out there all the time. I know it's technically not outside, but it feels like it's outside. And we also use it for cleaning the car as well. They're just so easy to bring anywhere with you. One recommendation is if you're actually going to the beach, like a lot of us do here in Busan, bring it along with you, and then you can quickly clean sand off of all the stuff that you brought with you and a lot of the sand that makes it into the car, right? Because that's no fun when it's sand for like 1 month. You went to the beach one time and you get sand forever. That's no fun, right? So one of these cordless vacuum cleaners is an easy solution for that as well. Reason number 6, and perhaps the most important one, these cordless vacuum cleaners actually save energy because they only draw energy when they're charging. They use less energy than models with a cord do. So this is an easy way to save power and energy because they're using batteries, right? On the flip side of that, you always have to make sure the battery is well charged or else you can't use it. I think there's a healthy balance in there somewhere. My wife keeps them plugged in all the time. I don't think you have to do that. I actually switch them off and unplug them sometimes when she's not looking. Don't tell. Shh, that's our secret. But yeah, I mean, you don't have to keep them plugged in all day long, but you just have to keep in mind. They often have like a power indicator in there that shows you when they need to be recharged anyway, and when they're full. And when they're full, then you can unplug them. Because right, that's the idea, right? We're trying to save energy, especially because energy costs so much money these days, right? Well, that's going to do it for today's Daily List. Let's take a quick song break. We're going to listen to I'm Yours by Jason Mraz. Oh, Have It All. I'm sorry. We're going to listen to Have It All by Jason Mraz. And then we'll be back with Tomorrow Today. Welcome back to the 2 p.m. Reboot. You just heard Have It All by Jason Mraz, and now it is time for Tomorrow Today. And in Tomorrow Today, we're actually going to talk about kind of yesterday today, because we're going to look at a brief history of vacuum cleaners. And why are they important? Well, basically, they changed our lives. You know, if you think about it, what we use them for, if we didn't have them, what would we do? We would have to use dustpans and brooms still, right? And that takes a long time to clean an entire house. Trust me, I used to work construction with my father. That was not fun. So yes, we used very powerful shop vacuums to clean up, but still a lot of sweeping time. Sweeping is not fun, right? So we're happy that we have vacuum cleaners in our lives, but do we know where they come from and when? I had no idea. So this is a brief history of vacuum cleaners that we're going to look at. And I got a comment from Jogum Tongnim, who says, when we were talking about reasons why we should switch to a cordless vacuum cleaner, that Jogum Tongnim didn't think about reason number 6 before. And reason number 6, I think, is the most important one. These newer cordless electric vacuum cleaners that are portable, cordless, save you energy, right? And if you think about what energy it took to use the original vacuum cleaners, it's mind-blowing. So where did they start out, right? Basically, the ancestor to modern vacuum cleaners was what they called a carpet sweeper. That was invented in 1860 by a man named Daniel Hess of West Union, Iowa. And it was a non-motorized machine, but it used a complex system of bellows for suction and spinning brushes to pick up dirt. Unwieldy is the word that comes to mind. Yeah, I can't imagine how bulky and difficult to use it was, but it worked, right? So people were like, oh, cool. This is an interesting idea. Can we improve on it? The answer, of course, is always yes, right? So a slight improvement on that design was patented in 1865 by a man named Ives McGaffey of Chicago. His invention was basically a hand crank operated vacuum cleaner. Again, not so easy to use, especially compared to what we got today. You had to basically turn the crank and push the machine across the carpet at the same time. But I guess people enjoyed it enough that they were actually using it rather than taking carpets outside and beating them. You've seen people do that, I'm sure still today. That is so difficult to do, right? But somebody else had another idea. In 1901, an Englishman named H. Cecil Booth invented a large machine called a suction cleaner. I guess the name didn't stick very well. Doesn't roll off the tongue like a vacuum cleaner does for some reason, right? This thing was powered by an internal combustion engine. Think like the same kind of engines that are used to move cars, right? Old gasoline cars, diesel cars, right? Those are internal combustion engines. So this, like those, ran on gas. And this thing was huge. It had to be mounted onto a horse-drawn cart, and later, as the horses kind of disappeared, on an automobile in order to be transported from place to place. I can't remember where I saw this, but I recently saw either a movie or a drama on the flicks that showed this thing, and it was crazy how big it was. But he actually got a receptive clientele among the British nobility, and that, in turn, inspired others to improve upon his design as well. So, these things kind of, one thing leads to another, right? The average consumer really weren't into these early vacuum cleaners because they were very bulky, they were very loud, and like the one we just mentioned, they had an odor that came from their exhaust systems. It was basically like having a car engine to power your vacuum, right? Over the years, a lot of people from all around the world kind of fiddled with the idea of having these suction cleaning concepts and contributed to gradual improvements. But there was a big breakthrough in the 1920s, and there was an Ohio janitor named James Murray Spangler. He created a carpet sweeping contraption out of a soapbox, a broom handle, a pillowcase, and an electric motor. It sounds like one of those MacGyver episodes where he just puts random things together to solve the problem, but it worked. He then began to sell this machine to local housewives. One of the housewives was a woman named Susan Hoover. If that name sounds familiar to you, there's a reason. Her husband, William, actually invested in the mass production of Spangler's machine and eventually purchased the rights to the design and named his company after his own name, and it became a very famous electric suction sweeper company that we still know today. I think the Hoover name is pretty well known, right? That family has probably very well associated with vacuum cleaners, right? The first plastic vacuum cleaner was actually produced in the 1930s, and the precursor to modern central vacuum systems was created in 1952 by this very same company. And I think a lot of people still know that company, right? By the 1960s, vacuum cleaners were much more lightweight and easy to use. The one corporation actually produced a uniquely portable model for the hotel industry, and in response to demand from hotel housekeepers, began marketing it to the public. So it was started out specifically for the hotel industry, and then was passed on to the average consumer. All of the designs since the ones that the first mass-produced one had used these bags to collect dust and debris that they suctioned away from carpets, right? But in the 1970s, another person who has a last name you might have heard before, James Dyson, thought of a different way of doing it. He thought the vacuum cleaner would benefit from getting rid of the idea of bags altogether. So after 5,127 prototypes, James Dyson unveiled his dual cyclone machine in 1993. So it took about 20 years to get there, I guess, but this bagless technology was a big hit with the public. And if you look at today, the majority of vacuums sold are the bagless type. And I definitely remember the bags that we had in when I was a kid in my household. And I'm so glad I don't have those things to deal with anymore. But that's not the end of the innovation. The bagless vacuum was not the last stop. In 1996, the first robotic vacuum cleaner was manufactured by a company out of Sweden. And this definitely got a lot of attention from consumers, but was actually ultimately discontinued because it was pretty ineffective. The sensors didn't work that well, and it would often collide with other items in the house. In 2002, that all changed because another company produced something called the Roomba, and this robotic vacuum can change directions to avoid colliding with household furniture. It can detect debris on the floor. It can keep itself from falling down the stairs. And we'll see, only time will tell if robotic vacuums may someday replace manually operated ones completely. But obviously, the vacuum cleaner is still evolving. And in my house, it hasn't completely replaced the ones that we use by hand. But I love turning on that robot vacuum. It's like, yes, I would love watching it go because that means I am not cleaning. But the house is still getting clean. So that is today's Tomorrow Today. And that was a brief history of vacuum cleaners. We're going to take a quick song break. We're going to listen to Somebody by Sam Ryder, and we'll be back with our perfect playlist. Welcome back to the 2 p.m. Reboot. You just heard the song Somebody by Sam Ryder, and now it is time for the perfect playlist. We do this every day, Monday through Friday, and every week we got a different theme. This week our theme is songs about freedom, because freedom is something we need to not take for granted. Freedom is something we love, right? Everybody loves it, so much so that we make songs about it, right? And one of the groups that has made songs about freedom is En Vogue. And the song we're going to play for them today is Free Your Mind. And basically, in the 1990s, I don't know if you recall, but there was suddenly an uptick in the chart reign of girl groups. They seemed to be coming from everywhere. En Vogue was one of them. They were one of the bigger names from that time. They combined R&B, New Jack Swing, which I know what that means. I recall that term. I remember. Hip-hop, and also rock into several of their hits. The most of their in-your-face hits was this song called Free Your Mind. The idea was no one has the right to destroy someone else's happiness just because they walk, talk, or dress differently. So free your mind, right? Let people be, right? And this was a worldwide top 10 hit, so obviously a lot of people thought that was a great idea. Our second song for today is called also Freedom. We had another song called Freedom yesterday from Wham. Today's song is Freedom by Pharrell Williams. This song was not only a top 40 hit, it actually made top 10 in a few countries, but it also appeared in all kinds of media. It was in commercials, it was before Hillary Clinton's concession speech, and it was also featured in Despicable Me 3 and Now You See Me 2 in the soundtrack, so it was all over the place, right? Basically, the song with freedom in the title calls for the idea of liberation and peace. It talks about the interconnectedness of everything and how mind and spirit and how we are in tune with that can make us all truly free, right? So these are our two songs for today for the perfect playlist. First up, Free Your Mind by En Vogue, followed by Freedom by Pharrell Williams.
Prejudice. Wrote a song about it?
freedom, freedom, freedom.
Welcome back to the 2 p.m. Reboot. You just heard the song Freedom by Pharrell Williams, and before that was Free Your Mind by En Vogue. And those were our two songs for the perfect playlist and songs about freedom for today. And of course, we'll have more of those throughout the week for you. And thanks for all the messages about the question of the day. My question was, what is your particular method that you use to clean your house well? 집안 청소를 잘하는 나만의 방법은 무엇인가요? I almost made it through there. Okay, so I got a bunch of messages I wanted to share. I'm sorry I didn't have time to get to them earlier. 3258 Nim says, my everyday quick cleaning item I use after taking a shower is a squeegee. I totally forgot about that. I got one in my house too. 3258 Nim says, I bet a lot of people already use this like me these days. I'm thinking of buying another squeegee with a long stick so that I won't have to squat. Yeah, right. Because the one I have also is like, just like a handheld one. And you have to kind of get down and squeegee the floor or the wall or whatever you're trying to clean off the water so you don't get mold and mildew, which is our biggest enemy here, right? Oh, man, I hate that stuff. So, yes, I totally forgot about that. We got the squeegees, one in each bathroom as well, so for sure. 3258 Nim also says, I buy one more head of the vacuum cleaner and use it to sweep the dirtier floors where we wear shoes like the front door or veranda floor. Maybe it's a Korean specialized tip for vacuum cleaning because, yeah, I mean, a lot, in Korea, people usually take their shoes off before they go inside, but there is that part outside usually where the front door is. I would call it an entry or what do you call it? A foyer? It sounds French to me. A foyer, perhaps. Yeah, the area where you keep your shoes and all that stuff, that typically gets a little bit dirtier than the rest of the house. So do you want to use the same cleaning appliances that you use for inside the house and outside or the veranda as well? My veranda gets really dirty because I got plants out there. So that's a great idea. You have basically a different vacuum cleaner head that you can switch out. I will talk with my wife about that. That's perhaps something we're going to do too. 9437 Nim says, I used a specialized window cleaner, brand name. I know that one, to remove every stain on everything. It really works. Cool. Like glass cleaner, right? Window cleaner. I use that for basically just glass. I will reconsider. I wonder what other things you can use that to clean. That's interesting. That's one I've not thought about. And if you have not gotten one of those robotic vacuum cleaners yet, I recommend it. We use it at the house all the time. But also, as Jogum Nim mentions, if you got cats at your house, your cats can ride on the robot cleaner, vacuum cleaner, and play with them. So it can entertain cats, it can entertain children, and you don't have to do as much cleaning. So I'm totally with that. I appreciate all the feedback and advice about how to clean your house, how to keep it all organized, because it's hard work. Technology is making it easier bit by bit, but it's still a lot of work, right? So thanks for all the feedback. Thanks for tuning in today. Unfortunately, it's time to wrap up the show. I have been your host, Casey McKeever, and it has been my pleasure to be with you on this Tuesday afternoon. I will be back, of course, tomorrow at 2:05 p.m. We're going to play one last song for you. We're going to listen to On Broadway by George Benson. Enjoy the song and stick around for Your Busan.